Hi everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Gigawatts. I'm Peter, and Matt has lost a lot of weight, and he's went ginger, and he's gained an English accent. He's also changed his name to Connor.
Yeah, that'll be me.
Yeah. But why is Connor here? Well, Connor's here because we're going to talk about Captain America: Civil War, which opened a week early in the UK compared to the US. So Matt's not seen it yet, but me and Connor just get back from midnight showings,
Indeed.
which oddly, we're quieter. I think you said it as well. Both mine was quieter as well compared to Batman v Superman. It was weird.
Yeah, Batman v Superman was 100% sold out in my cinema. There was a
Oh, mine wasn't sold out, but
oh, mine was for the midnight. This
nah.
time, it wasn't completely packed, but it was still pretty busy. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah, mine was actually quite dead. There was like six of us.
really,
Yeah.
okay, that is weird. Mine was still like three quarters full.
It was a very intimate, intimate screening among strangers.
That is this is one of the least packed midnight showings I've been to, even at three quarters full.
And it's just the location of my cinema. My cinema for midnights isn't that packed. The only time it was ever packed at a midnight show was Harry Potter, the last one,
Hmm.
which annoys me a little bit because I care
I bet
way
it was
more.
for Star Wars, but you didn't go for that, did you?
Nah, I didn't.
I bet it was packed for that.
Possibly. Might have been. I don't know. But, yeah, so we're going to talk about Captain America's Civil War. We're going to start off spoiler free, so if you are in the US or another country where it's not opened yet and you just want some impressions without spoilers, we're going to do that first. And then we're going to warn you, we're going to put the spoiler wall up, and then we're going to go into spoilers and do details. But, I guess, first things first, Connor, did you like Captain America Civil War?
Of course.
Nice, straight up forward answer. I liked it too, it was very good.
Yeah.
Um, I almost find it difficult to say much about it without spoilers, just because there's nothing new, like all the new characters that pop up. There's not really a whole lot to really talk about because we're just so used to these Marvel movies now.
Yeah.
Where, and if I have any complaints, and it's not really even a complaint, it's that I'm used to it.
Yeah, I guess my only complaint is sometimes I wish the tone had gone a tiny bit more serious at times. Like at
Yeah,
times they kind of backed into the Marvel jokey stuff that
yeah.
you come to expect. At times I feel like with the subject matter it could have gone a little bit.
That said, though, this was the darkest one yet
Oh, definitely,
because
definitely
this had some dark beats at certain
was.
points.
But there were just certain moments where they were still having a few of the Marvel kind of jokes where I feel like could have done without.
Um, I It's got a weird structure, and that's
It
kind of by
does.
design because of the way the movie has to work out. Because they have to all fight each other, but then there has to be an actual villain at the end, and it works. It works fine, but it did feel weird.
It did.
It felt
It
like the
really,
big climax was in the middle, and then there was other stuff.
it was more like an epilogue, but went on for quite a while.
It wasn't even an epilogue though; it was a conclusion to the movie. Thematically, it closed the movie, but in terms of an action movie, the big fight was in the middle,
Yeah,
and that was a
definitely.
little bit weird. Just because they're so used to the big thing being at the end,
Yeah,
that it just felt really weird to then go back into more plot.
yeah, it did.
So that's kind of a complaint, but not really.
It's something that kind of it comes with the territory of doing a versus movie, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
'Cause
But
I guess
nah,
the
the
last thing
movie.
I'd say is this is what Batman v Superman should have been, essentially, in the sense that it deals with very similar themes of consequence, and it does it in a much better way.
Nah, I hate the comparison because Batman v Superman should never have been Batman v Superman. So I think it's a
Well,
bullshit comparison.
well, yeah, but if they were going to do that with what they,
No, but they shouldn't have. So it's not even a comparison. It shouldn't have been a versus film. It's not that.
it shouldn't have. But I'm just saying, based on what they wanted to do with that idea, it could have been done better.
Whatever, I don't care. We're not talking about Batman v Superman. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Civil War, and the movie, like I say, is very good. It's got a bit of a weird structure. The new characters are pretty good. Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther is quite strong.
Yeah, definitely.
Very athletic. His fight scenes were pretty cool. Spider-Man, again, we'll stay away from specifics, but he's a lot of fun. He's funny. He feels like a young Spider-Man.
Fits right in.
Looks good in the fight scene, and he did fit right in when all the action was going off and he was around, so that was cool. I thought Baron Zemo... Do you know what's funny? See, for most of the movie, I thought it was lame. For most of the movie, I thought, okay, he's just lame Marvel villain number 17.
I think I know the exact scene that you changed your mind.
Yeah, it's like one of his last scenes.
Yeah.
Because he then became not just a normal villain, and it worked.
It did. But I almost wish we'd have got hints of that a bit earlier.
Well, we kind of did, but that's in spoilers.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about that. But, nah, so he actually did end up being a bit better than I was thinking throughout most of the movie, because it wasn't just... Wow, I've got a plan, I'm going to kill everyone, because I'm Red Skull and I'm shit.
Cool. Digging at that movie already.
Yeah, well. Winter Soldier's fantastic, this was fantastic. The first Captain America can kiss my ass. On that, actually I can't talk about that, we're not in the spoiler section, but there's something I want to joke about when we get to the spoiler section.
Okay.
So that was cool. Fight scenes were great. The big fight scene that you see like glimpses of in the airport, yeah, it's great.
It's even better than expected, to be honest.
And that's the scene, yeah, because there's a couple of surprises in it, and we'll get to those. But that's the scene that's in the middle, and then everything after that's it's smaller, which is fine, but it does feel a bit weird.
It kind of feels like almost a step back, in a weird way.
See, I feel the thematic and the emotional stuff didn't, though, so it does work. So I disagree with that. I do have one weird thing to say about the movie, though. This goes along with me saying that I'm getting used to these Marvel movies, where I'm just kind of like, alright, I know how good it's going to be, because there's a sort of like standard quality, they just kind of all are now, for the most part. And it's starting to feel less like movies, and more like this was just the next episode in the TV show.
I felt that as well. It feels like, I mean, how many of these have there been now? I don't know what number.
This is 13.
Starting to feel it. Starting to feel like this is how TV shows get almost formulaic. And
it's not even... Do you know what? It's not even that. It's not that it's formulaic. It's not that it's number 13 and we've had 12 of them already. Let me finish. I know you're chomping at the bit to say something. Let me finish my point. It's not that. It's the way that there's so many characters from all these past movies just popping in and out. And if you watch this movie without having seen any of the MCU, you'd be fucking lost. You wouldn't get anything.
Yeah, you would be screwed.
Because there's all these characters. It cuts to Vision, it cuts to Scarlet Witch, it cuts to Rhodey, it cuts to Falcon, it just cuts around all these different characters, and
they have no introduction really.
No one does. No one has any introduction. The only people that you would get in this movie are the main characters, and that would be Cap, Stark, and Winter Soldier, and that would be it, pretty much. I mean, obviously Black Panther because he's new, so they kind of had to introduce him. But even Spider-Man, they just kind of assume, right, you know who Spider-Man is.
Some really good stuff actually there, where there was a particular moment where I was like, I like that they assume that everyone just knows this, and it plays for a nice moment.
No, I like that too, but at the same time, it's going with this feeling though, that it feels like the next episode in a TV show, just because of the way some of these characters don't even have... Like, when it got to the end of the movie, and I won't talk about spoilers, but I feel like a lot of the characters were there for the fight, but not much else. So it just kind of feels like, oh, they popped in because they're a character in this world. The way you would watch any TV show, and say one episode is focusing on, say it's an ensemble cast, right? And say you're watching Buffy, right? And the episode is focusing on just Buffy, Willow, and Xander, right? But halfway through the episode, Cordelia will walk in for one scene because she's around. They'll have one joke and she'll leave. And that'll be her in that episode because she's not the main focus of that episode, but she'll be focused down the line.
Yeah.
That's what this felt like. It felt like there was so many characters who were just kind of there.
I think while I was watching it, I felt this doesn't necessarily feel like a Captain America movie. It feels just like a Marvel movie.
Yeah, it felt like a Marvel. It felt like Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely did. I'd read some reviews, I've seen some opinions beforehand that said, no, it definitely feels like a Cap movie because Bucky's at the centre of the conflict. And he is, but honestly, there was just... And this isn't a complaint, I actually don't mind this. I'm cool with this just being Avengers 2.5. I really don't want this to sound like a complaint. But there is literally there's just so many scenes where it will cut to what Tony's doing.
Recut this slightly and you could have called this Iron Man 4.
Yeah, or you could have just called it Avengers Civil War, or called it Civil War on its own.
It's Marvel Civil War, yeah.
Because it feels like a sequel to Age of Ultron, it feels like a sequel to Avengers, it feels like a sequel to Winter Soldier, and it feels like a sequel to Iron Man 3. It feels like a sequel to all those movies. Because
it does.
All of the plot threads from all those movies get brought up in one way or another throughout this.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, one of the main ones is Winter Soldier, because Bucky and that whole thing. But there's, they bring up all the stuff that happened in all those movies. And technically even Ant-Man, because Ant-Man shows up. And...
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you'd not gone to see Ant-Man last year.
Yeah, he'd be so fucking weird, because he starts doing things.
It's like, what's going on here? Yeah. That'd be weird, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I don't necessarily think it should be accessible to new people. Honestly, if you're going to give me a serialized story, I want Part 13 to not make sense to anyone who's not seen. I don't want them wasting time reintroducing everything again. So it's just
it's something that you have to just be aware of if you're recommending this to someone.
So I guess what the point I'm even getting at that I started when I started talking about that whole thing was just it's a great movie, but it's a great Part 13 movie. It's not a great go watch Civil War if you've not seen anything.
Yeah, definitely. You could not just give this to someone.
This would make sense. Nothing stuff. I mean, I had feelings in this. I felt emotions when certain things happened. You would feel nothing if you hadn't seen all those other movies.
Yeah, it's completely reliant on the fact that you have seen everything else, or at least all the bigger ones.
And I think going forward, that's probably going to be true for a lot of them. I think Avengers, that's going to be true. I think
all those big tentpole ones. I think the smaller. Like Doctor Strange, that'll be like obviously because it's a new first.
Yeah, it's an origin, so
it's fine. But I think even there'll be things that are like that coming up that still feel like their own thing a bit more.
Yeah, well, Thor's fairly disconnected, but even in Thor, you're going to have Hulk this next one.
That's true.
Guardians is off its own, doing its own thing, so that's fine.
I mean, Spider-Man, but that's going to have
Iron Man in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like. Which I like. I like that the universe is starting to feel like proper shared. Like it's not just like little cameos.
Yeah, it's
like you can have half the like Avengers in a movie. Yeah. That's cool. In fact, this is probably the first one where it properly. I mean, I'll on Avengers 1 and 2, I suppose, but this is the first one where it properly feels like this is a shared universe, and all these things that happened in all these different movies have consequence. Which is one of the big things in this movie is that it's all about the consequences for all these things that's happened.
Yeah.
In the past few movies, and I like how they brought that up for the most part. I thought that was really well handled. I like that there's consequence. I like that being a superhero isn't just willy-nilly. In fact, I know I didn't say I said I didn't want to talk about Batman v Superman, but the one thing I will say about Batman v Superman compared to this, or this is actually more about Man of Steel, really, is in Civil War. Without getting into spoilers, there is so much concern giving for 12 deaths. 12 civilian deaths get such a reaction and such a fuck, we messed up. Compare that to Man of Steel's and the city being decimated, thousands and thousands of people dying.
This is what I was comparing with the consequences stuff, because obviously we know from, not spoilers, trailers and stuff, this is all a reaction to their past events like Avengers 2 with Sokovia.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Batman v Superman was. That was like Batman's reaction to Man of Steel. Except this was done right. This was that done properly.
Yeah, so it's like Batman v Superman wasn't really that.
Well, okay, the first half.
Even then, like if that was just an excuse in the movie to get him to want to fight him, and that was it. It was never explored any more than that.
It's what it should have been if they were trying to make that movie.
No, it shouldn't have been that at all. Connor, stop saying that.
The idea there's fine, but we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll move on. You're just going to piss me off if you keep saying that. It shouldn't have been that at all. All right. I like Scarlet Witch in this movie. I thought she was given a little bit of time, which was nice because she is a fairly new character, and she's not getting a solo movie anytime soon. I
No
imagine.
chance.
I imagine we're probably not going to see her again till maybe Infinity War now.
What have we got coming up? Maybe she could show up in Strange.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Not with the way this ends.
No, not with the way this ends. True.
So no, she's not going to show up in Guardians. She's not going to show up in Thor.
Nah.
Not going to show up in Spider-Man. Nah, I don't see her popping
No.
up now until Infinity War. So yeah, but nah, I liked her in this movie. And Vision was cool too. So I like the new characters from Ultron being around and being a big part
I
of
really
this.
liked especially Vision and Scarlet Witch and their relationship.
I feel like you're getting into spoiler territory. They'll just be saying
I
that.
just, I don't. They're on the same team from Black Avengers. I like their relationship. That's not spoilers.
All right. What else? What else before we get to spoilers?
Is there anything else? Sorry, my computer just messed up. My screen just went blank for a second and I panicked.
Okay. Nah, I think that's the best we can do without spoilers. So, no, cast across the board, of course, is good. Most of them you've seen before, so you know that. Action solid, a lot of good flippy doos and all sorts.
There's lots of that.
Yeah, lots of flipping. And yeah, consequence. Big theme of this movie is consequence. It's the main theme, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely is.
So here come spoilers. So here's your full spoiler warning. Go away if you've not seen the movie and don't want to know anything. So let's get into spoilers then. So we start with Bucky getting woken up
Yes.
in 1992.
91.
And this is something we see again, like a third out of the movie when he's been questioned by Zemo, I think. And then we see the full security footage at the end. And this is the twist of the movie, if you will, I guess.
Yeah.
And it works well as a twist, and I think the reason why it works well as a twist is, at least I don't think in the comics this was the case, what they did in this. I think this is something they came up
I
with.
think it's something I thought it was a little bit telegraphed. Because just in the sense the way we cut from the first time we see that right at the start, it cuts from that
Yeah, it cut straight
to Stark and
Stark's
talking about his
thing,
parents, yeah.
Yeah, nah, especially in hindsight, you go back and watch that and it's really glaring just how much they're back to back. But I think it works well though as a twist, or maybe not as a twist, but it works well as a reveal, and you can see it coming, but it gives Iron Man a proper reason
Yeah.
to want to really fight. Because one of the things I liked about the big fight is that no one was actually trying to kill each other, because they were just trying to stop them from going.
Yeah.
So it was all. Although there was a couple of moments where I thought they were being a bit too destructive, with, like
And Scarlet Witch pulling all the cars down.
her pulling the cars and then Vision like cutting the tower that fell. I'm like, it's a bit excessive. Like,
Yes, what if that falls on top of them?
yeah, and it nearly did. Like it very nearly did. But it gave him a reason to stop pulling punches,
Yeah.
and I liked that. Although I did chuckle a little bit that the reason for fighting in this is also to do with mothers.
I did too. It's so hard to ignore.
It is a bit hard to ignore, into, especially since when he's like says to Cap, "You killed my mum." It's like, what about your dad? Your dad get killed at the same time. What the fuck?
Yeah, but his dad was a dick. We saw that.
Yeah, he wasn't that much of a dick. He's alright. Yeah. So, I like that. I thought it worked, and this is the scene where Baron Zemo started being interesting. It would have been nice if he was interesting before then, because that's like right at the end of the movie. But it at least gave his motives, even though I do think his entire plan to make this happen is one of these. This is such a convoluted plan to get all this to work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to blow up this, and I'm going to pretend to be
Frame
Bucky
this
while I'm doing
person,
it,
yeah.
and that's going to draw him out, and then they're all going to start fighting, and then they're going to come here. Like, it's okay. What are you, fucking the Riddler?
And he did all this in like a year, this plan, from nothing to deciphering and decoding all the documents from Hydra and figuring out, putting all the plan together and then putting it in action. A year.
So that part of it's bollocks. However, the sort of the drama of his decision and why he's doing what he's doing, and because it's about consequence, it actually mirrors quite well the scene at the start when Tony meets the woman whose son died in Sokovia. Yeah, because it turns out Baron Zemo's wife and kid were in Sokovia.
And his dad, I think.
And and his dad.
So I think they were outside the city at his dad's house.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they just live there now.
No, because it was his dad was holding the bodies.
Was he?
Yeah, that's what he says to Black Panther.
Fair enough. But it doesn't matter. The point is he's close enough to Sokovia that his family's died, and he he can't kill the Avengers. It's all about revenge, but he can't kill the Avengers, so his plan is to get them to fight each other.
I like that he at least recognises that he can't.
Yeah, no, he can't. He's just a guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a fucking criminal mastermind, given how well he's put this together over the year, and it all worked according to plan. But other than that...
he does straight up say, better men than him have tried, and they failed.
Yeah. So... But I like that, though. I like that he had this smoking gun. And that's why he was... Because it really seemed like he was looking for revenge because Bucky killed someone related to him. You know?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like a lot of the time. That said, though, I did clock that the phone thing was a recording, even the first time I heard it, because I thought it was really weird that he didn't say bye at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was weird too.
And I think the odd thing about that is you could have had him say bye and not had it be a cop-out, because he could just emotionally say bye at the end, and it would work on a second view. You'd go, oh, he's just, he's listening to it and he's saying bye at the end because he's feeling it.
Yeah.
But no, it was I like that. I like that twist because it made his motivation infinitely more interesting than almost any other Marvel villain at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of any others that are more.
Nah, the rest of them are just evil for the most part.
Yeah.
I
I think across the board, most of the Marvel villains are kind of weak.
Oh, they are. I mean, they're generally mediocre at best to terrible. I mean, go back and watch Ant-Man and tell me why Yellow Jacket's a bad guy. Other than he's just a bad guy.
The only other one who's had real motivation, I suppose, is Loki.
Yeah. Well, everyone says he's the best one, though, so that's not even... You're giving me the one good example.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I can salvage from the others.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Malekith, remember him?
And Eccleston was so wasted.
He really was. That said, though, as much as that saved it, up until that point, he was just another villain who wasn't that interesting, and it was all about the characters. It was about them colliding. So, I like we said, the fight in the middle was very good, and there was some surprises. As soon as Lang said, "Okay, I tried this once in a lab,"
Knew where it was going.
Yeah, you knew exactly where it was going, and they fucking did it. They had Giant Man out and be huge.
It was so cool.
It was so comic booky. Then Spider-Man saying, "Have you guys seen that old film, Empire Strikes Back?"
I tell you what, I knew he was doing that as the first time he swung around his arm. I was like, he's gonna fucking Empire him. I knew exactly where it was going. I know, I'm too much of a Star Wars nerd, but...
You really are. It's just blatant self-promotion at this point. They're both Disney. Blatant.
Yeah, it was.
Blatant. So yeah, I was good. I had a couple of really good lines actually. I loved how when he got his shield back, he got Cap's shield back from Spidey, and he handed it to him. He said his full name, and he's like, "Here you go, Captain America." he said it in full.
It's like proper formal.
I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, even when he first meets him, and he's like, "You're Captain America," and he turns around and sees Scarlet Witch. He's like, "And I know you too. You're cool," but he just immediately turns back around
And he's
starts
just still like
talking to him.
shaking his hand at this point.
So, unsurprisingly, he was pretty funny. I guess we need to talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's,
Of course.
big part of this, and he's essentially only really in 2 scenes, but they're 2 notable scenes, especially the second one. I was not expecting Aunt May.
No, sorry, that was a nice surprise.
It was a nice surprise. And you know what? 51. Marissa Tomei still looking good at 51.
Yeah, too right.
Jesus Christ, I want to be a friend of Peter Parker's just so I can hit on his aunt.
To be fair, that is very much referenced.
It is. Tony points it out, and it's in character for Tony to point it out, so that's very good.
It is.
So I thought they were seen in his bedroom where he's like, so this is you, and he finds the shitty version of the outfit.
He just jumps on it.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool. And I like that it's when he threatens to go and tell Aunt May what he's been doing, he breaks out the web shooter.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in that scene. I like the idea that he had those goggles to kind of filter out some of his senses. That's cool. And this was where I mentioned the spoiler-free section, the idea that not introducing everything, just expecting that people know Spider-Man. The moment where he's clearly talking about Uncle Ben, like the Uncle Ben moment, without ever mentioning the name, but you know exactly what he's talking about. And I think that works really well.
I honestly thought he was going to whip out with great power comes great responsibility.
Did you actually?
And I feel like, as much as it's not been that long since the Raimi Spider-Man movies, because they did another version and that's went away now, I feel like, yeah, you can go back to it now. Just, it's his phrase. Just use it. Maybe they'll whip it out in the
Saving it for his own movie.
The full movie, yeah. But that was a good scene. They had good chemistry, and it makes sense that Tony Stark's going to be in Spider-Man: Homecoming now.
Yeah, after this, I can really see it.
So since he's like making his suit for him and all that jazz.
Just a bit of a mentor.
Yeah. So I can see that being a thing. So that's pretty cool. A couple of other like funny moments in that one as well, when he's like, "Move your leg, I'm going to sit there."
Yeah,
it's pretty good. So no, good. And Spider-Man actually in the scene. We all seen his entrance in the trailer, but there was a lot of cool stuff when he's just like he's swinging around and he's grabbing Falcon, and he's who else does he fight? He's got a lot of good
Bucky
moments.
Bucky
a bit.
Giant Man.
And like when Falcon and Bucky are running, he's like, everyone's got a gimmick now.
Yeah,
it's pretty funny.
that's good.
I actually love the Falcon and Bucky's relationship in this, because they see, I don't know, the moment that cracked me up probably more than anything
It's
else.
in the car.
Yeah. Can
Yeah.
you move your seat forward? No. And do you know what's so funny about it is that it's such a slice of life moment, because I have long legs, and I'm typically in this situation where I'm in the back of a car and it hurts, and I'm like, move the fucking seat forward.
I like how he then just shuffles over to the side, like, fine. And then comes also another great moment in that scene, where after Steve kisses, what's her name?
Sharon.
Yes, and then they're just, their reaction is great.
Yeah, their reaction's pretty good. I was actually surprised they didn't cut to their reaction mid-kiss. I thought it was going to. But, another great moment with them, though, is when Falcon uses Red Wing to get rid of Spidey. And then Winter Soldier says, couldn't you have done that earlier? And he's just like, I hate you.
I thought Red Wing in general was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, beats having an actual Falcon, I suppose.
I have to say, at the start of the movie, I didn't understand why War Machine and Vision weren't with them on the mission. And there was never an explanation given for it. And I thought it was strange, because the whole idea is that this team of Avengers was set up at the Age of Ultron. And then you go into this one, and there's 4 of them there. but not all 6. And then after that, the team splits up.
Maybe they were reserves. Like, you guys hold off in case something else pops up while we deal with this one.
Well, yeah, that's fine, and I'll explain it away. But I'm just saying, from a
They
viewer
probably should have said
perspective,
something. Yeah.
we should have seen them working as a team of 6 before they split up. We didn't. We never seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, they have Rhodey like side with Iron Man and like go against what Cap's saying and all that, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I mean, we've never actually seen him work with Cap yet, so it just kind of
Doesn't have much impact, does it? Because it's like, well, of course he's going to side with Tony.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a really powerful moment actually, watching him try to walk with the sort of mech legs.
Yeah,
at the end.
And I will say, I'm really happy he was injured in a very different way to what everyone was expecting. Because all the rumors and talk was suggesting that it was Bucky. Because obviously we saw that shot in the trailer of him with his hand on Tony's core, and obviously we'd seen Bucky with the chest shot out, and people had wondered maybe if Bucky had ripped it out, and that's when it got injured. But
now, I liked that it was a Vision by accident.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Because it's making Vision question his humanity and what's right and wrong, and he's dealing with consequences. And like we said, everything in this movie is about consequences.
It is.
It's about people who died in Sokovia. It's about the 12 people who died at the start in Wakanda.
I don't think they're actually in Wakanda.
Are you sure? Because they said Wakandans that died.
See, I think it was Wakandans that died, but they were on a mission outside. I think they were in Nigeria.
Right, whatever. But it was 12 Wakandans who died.
Yeah.
And like I say, like they're not happy about these 12 deaths, and they're taking it hard. Big difference to other movies recently.
Scarlet Witch in particular, because obviously she's the one who indirectly kills them.
Yeah, because she's dealing with crossbones.
And it cuts to her reaction, and that's really strong.
No, it's good. I liked her a lot in this movie actually, and her dealing with her stuff, and so they assemble the team, and there's a couple of entrances that are really abrupt. Like Hawkeye just kind of shows up.
Yeah, it's just like, well, we had to have him at some point.
Yeah. So, no, it was good. I feel like we're pointing out negatives more than we are anything else, but I think that's just because that's what stands out, because it's typically very good.
The positives are what we expect anyway.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's good. It's, if you like the Marvel movies, you're going to like this. This is, I mean, if I was going to compare it to Winter Soldier, which feels weird to compare it to that, because I'd rather compare it to Avengers movies.
Yeah.
I'd say that Winter Soldier's tighter as a movie, but this one's a lot more interesting in terms of just what it does. Like, it has so many characters, and they're used, and it's advancing the entire world of plot, and not just
one person's story.
Not just the one person thing.
It does feel more like an Avengers movie for sure. Like, it definitely feels like after Avengers 2, like this is the one for the universe.
But they didn't want to be Avengers 3 because they want the team to get back together for Infinity War.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't know.
I mean, throw in Banner and Thor, and you've got everyone from the Avengers. Have I missed anyone?
No, that's everyone.
Yeah, plus everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's good.
It's very good. It's very enjoyable. I know it's long, but I didn't really feel the length.
I didn't feel the length either. If anything, if there's one more thing I'd compare it to Batman v Superman with, in an odd way, is that both of those movies are really long, but don't feel long.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because this one's good and that one's terrible. But they both have that same feeling, and I don't know if it's just because there's so much going on and it's the pace. I
don't know, because there's a good few moments of downtime, like Vision and Scarlet Witch just cooking.
Yeah, and that's hinting at the relationship like possibly happened at some point, which was nice. Even if it never happens, it was a nice sort of homage to it that they've got a connection, which is nice. But you say that, but at the same time, I don't feel like there's actually that much plot. Really, I feel like
It's mostly just character work.
it sets up stuff. It sets up stuff at the start with the Wakandans dying, introduces people, and then there's that chase scene, and then it feels like they disband, and almost immediately they're building the team, and then it's the fight at the airport, and then it's just that last act after that. Like in terms of just breaking it down into beats, it feels
Yeah.
like when I got to the point where we were going to the the final place in the movie, whatever country that was in.
Russia, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Serbia, I don't know.
Siberia.
Siberia, yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. Like, I was like, this feels like it's getting to the last part of the movie, but I feel like...
I felt like there should have been a good chunk more still.
Yeah, I feel like... And again, it's not even a complaint, it's just... I think it's the weird structure messing with me. It's thrown me off, and it doesn't feel like a regular movie in that sense. And this goes back to what I said at the start, is it feels like the next episode of a TV show.
Yeah, it really does. It just feels like the next part. There's no other way of really describing this movie.
Which is good and bad.
I guess you could be disappointed if you really wanted a specific Cap story. Because we're not going to get one for a while now.
Yeah, Phase 4, basically.
Yeah.
Assuming he's not dead by then.
Yeah, assuming he gets one, and they haven't changed everything. Because I think they said they wanted Phase 4 to be pretty different.
They did.
So that's assuming there is a Cap movie in Phase 4.
Yeah. I think there might be. It may not be him, though.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance there'll be a Cap movie, but it'll be...
They're Grim and Bucky.
Yeah. Although, freezing him at the end was an odd choice.
It was an odd choice. I guess they just don't want to have him around for a while.
I guess.
They just want an excuse for him not to pop up straight away at the start of Infinity War.
I guess, but are we even going to see like Cap and his team of Avengers now that he's broken out of the prison until Infinity War?
Probably not. I could see maybe we could see Bucky in Black Panther.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, that's a fair.
Maybe that's why they had that scene.
Well, that does two things, because they're teasing. They always like to tease a movie that's coming up in the next year or two.
Yeah.
So that's teasing Black Panther, but it also gives the final plot point with Bucky right now, where he's at. And then the final post-credit scene, of course, is the last little Spider-Man scene.
It's good stuff.
Just to tease the movie next year.
Looking forward to it now.
I am now, actually. I'm looking forward to quite a bit.
I was a bit skeptical, but Spidey was really solid in this.
They've got it down, and they've confirmed that Feige and Marvel have got creative control over it.
Why would they not? Like, look, it's basically going, look, you guys do all the work, and we'll take all the money.
Pretty much.
How can they lose?
Pretty much. So, so that's cool. No, it's really good. I feel like I've sounded really negative, and I don't want to be, because it's solid. It's great.
It is a very good movie. It's standard at this point, which sounds like a bad thing, but the standard is so high that that's such a good thing still.
This is the weird thing about it, though, is I feel like it's not that much of a spectacle in it, even though there's some really spectacle moments in it, in that fight in the middle. It doesn't feel that much of a spectacle anymore, and it does feel like the next episode of a TV show. But at the same time, do you kind of want that when you have this shared universe, and you're getting soon there'll be 3 of these a year.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if everyone is a spectacle, how long till that starts getting boring and you get tired of it, rather than having these built-up characters and doing some more interesting things.
Because the one I'd compare it to, not compare it to, but the one that I'd say stands out is Guardians. Because I feel like Guardians feels like a film. It feels like a movie, because it's its own thing. It's connected, but it's this space adventure movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second one will be a sequel to that, but it won't, it'll probably tease a bit of Thanos and maybe whatever, but, it
very much goes off in its own, like, that could be not set in this universe, and you wouldn't really question it.
You could easily just have that be its own thing, and you wouldn't care. There'd be a couple of Easter eggs that would be taken out, and that'd be it, basically. Yeah. And it wouldn't be Thanos, it'd just be Thanid. Just typo it on the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's a different character. But it really feels that way now. It feels like we're just getting the next part of the story. which is cool, and it's a really cool, unique thing that we have. But it does feel less like a big movie.
Yeah, but as someone who personally prefers TV as a medium, because I prefer the serialized storytelling, and especially as comics are a serialized format, this kind of just works for me.
It does. I'd say it works in every way, except maybe the odd structure, which really felt off because it's a movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair to say.
Um, you know, yeah, yeah. Like if this was a comic book, it'd be maybe 8 issues,
Yeah, 6 to 8 issues. Yeah,
and you'd even have it as maybe 2 arcs rather than one.
yeah.
I could see it being that way. You know.
Like all the stuff up to where they die, like the Wakandans die, is like issue 1. Then
Aye, aye,
that's like
aye.
a first issue sort of thing, and then yeah, yeah, you could split it into quite easily.
I don't know. It's weird structure. That would be my only complaint. Is the structure feels really kind of weird. Um, it's a lot of fun though.
It is
I
a
really
lot of
I
fun.
can't fault it in many other ways. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Where would I rank it? I don't know at this point.
I'd have to look. I'd have to look quite hard at my rankings. I'd say I preferred it over Age of Ultron for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Um, where would I put it above Winter? Because Winter Soldier right now for me is number 3. I've got Avengers number 1. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy number 2. And I don't think it beats either of those. I think for me those two are still better. Because I think those are better. I think as a movie, both of those work on their own. Without
I'm not. Yeah, definitely in that sense. Because for me, I'm an odd one. My favorite Marvel movie is Thor. But
oh, you're weird then.
I know I'm weird. And Avengers is like 4 because mine goes Thor, Guardians, Winter Soldier, Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't know. Would I place this above any of those?
It's weird. I think ultimately I'd maybe say it's a similar quality to Winter Soldier, but all of its qualities that make it that where it is different.
Yeah, it's really hard to compare.
Because Winter Soldier, I liked how intimidating Winter Soldier was as a character. I liked the overall sort of really sort of thriller tone of it all. Whereas this didn't have any of that. This had this idea of conflict and the emotional resonance of and all that sort of thing. You know, like it was completely.
It was really just there wasn't much plot and spectacle. It was a character piece,
Yeah.
and it was these two opposing sides, and what's the middle ground, and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, as you can see, and hear,
It's quite late.
we recorded this when we get back from the midnight show, and it is now 4:30 in the AM. So I think it's time to wrap this up. There will be another video coming from us in a week when the Americans get it, and Matt and the Marvel guys, we're going to jump on and we're going to have another extended chat on it, and maybe I'll
You'll learn some stuff.
maybe I'll learn some stuff. Or,
Yeah, there was definitely some Marvel stuff like the Raft. Yeah, that's new to this universe, isn't it?
Are you in the prison?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but that's a big Marvel thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that sort of stuff that we haven't covered because
Here's a question though, right? Actually, now that they've made Bucky the person that's killed Iron Man's parents, do we really see a future in which Iron Man's okay with him?
it's a good question. I mean, maybe.
I mean, I can see him forgiving Cap for not telling him.
Yeah,
And it even kind of, it kind of points to that at the end when he's like, okay, if you ever need us, if you ever need the Avengers, call. I'm here.
yeah.
Right. So they
But
set up the idea that they can be friends again.
maybe eventually he'll accept that it wasn't really Bucky that did it. He didn't have any control over his actions.
I don't know if I buy that.
No, that's something I don't know if they will. I mean, I feel like they could do that and still do it well, but if they didn't do it, I'd buy it as well. I don't know. They could go either way with it.
All right, we're wrapping this up because it's getting late. So that's our review, or at least our first review of Captain America: Civil War. And of course, let us know what you thought down in the comments below, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. Also, go check out ronansreviews.com. It's a review website with a lot of written content, movie reviews and album reviews and all that stuff. Check it out. There'll be a link in the description to that. We're doing some cross promotion stuff with them, hence the promoting of it. None of us are rating on it, in case you're wondering. But check it out. Some cool opinion pieces on there. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm tired. It's very late. It's time to go to bed. We'll see you next time.